There's a condition where a person watches their own hand do things they never decided to do, button up a shirt they just unbuttoned, knock objects off a table, reach for something with no conscious intention behind it at all. The hand moves, the person is right there watching, and they can't stop it. It's called alien hand syndrome. Most traders don't have it, but a lot of them know something that rhymes with it. You sit down at your chart with a plan you wrote yourself, rules you know by heart, and at some point, your hand does something you didn't decide to do. It moves the stop loss, opens a position you told yourself you wouldn't take. This video is about what's actually behind that, why sometimes at the chart you do something different than what you planned. For years, you thought it was you breaking the rules, that these were your decisions. But what if I told you there's something operating outside your conscious control, something that triggers reactions before you even have a chance to understand them? Think about it for a second. You touch a hot stove. Your hand pulls back before you feel the pain. Someone throws something at you. You're already blocking before you think. You lose your balance. Your arms go out on their own. If your body waited for conscious analysis, the stove would burn your hand. The object would hit you in the face. You'd fall. You have an automatic defense system inside you that is faster than thinking, faster than any conscious decision you're capable of making. And that same system is sitting at the chart with you. Now pay close attention, because this is the key question. If it can move your hand away from a hot stove without asking your permission, you think a few mouse clicks is a problem for it? Not even close. This system wasn't built for trading. It was built for survival. And under stress, your nervous system can treat market pressure like a threat. Fast, automatic, and before your conscious mind has a chance to step in. And look, I'll be honest with you. You can throw out most of the advice you've seen online. Be more disciplined. Just stick to the plan. Because discipline assumes you have a choice in that moment. And that's exactly what you're about to see. Why sometimes you simply don't. Before you break your rules, your brain already received a signal. And that signal is where everything begins. Remember this framework. Everything in this video builds on it. Stimulus, processing, emotion, impulse, reaction. Let's go through each one, starting with the stimulus. And that's everything that enters your system, from the outside and from within. Simply put, everything you see, hear, feel. Every move on the chart is information. Every sound is information. And then there's something you can't see on the screen. Your physiological state, cortisol levels, dopamine, how many hours of sleep you got, and thoughts. Because a thought is a stimulus too. Next, processing. The signal hits your system and is instantly compared to everything your brain already has. Memories from similar situations, beliefs that have built up over years. And here's something that'll help you make sense of a lot. Your brain's first move isn't to analyze what's happening. It's looking for a match. And in a fraction of a second, it does one thing. It decides whether this is familiar or unfamiliar, safe or not. That job belongs to the amygdala, a structure buried deep in the brain that evolved over millions of years with one purpose: to detect threat. The result of that match is an emotion. It arrives before any conscious thought, and it arrives first. If a stimulus, a price move, a sudden spike in volume, a news headline, gets matched to something your system flags as a threat, the amygdala takes over. It doesn't matter whether the danger is real or whether it's just the ghost of a losing streak from last month. To your nervous system, there's no difference. And in that moment, it cuts off access to the part of your brain that could actually think the situation through. Instead of analysis, you get an impulse. The first is automatic, and this is exactly the mechanism I was talking about. When the system identifies a threat, the amygdala doesn't wait for your approval. Your hand pulls back from the stove, your arms come up to shield your face before you even see what's coming. Your body catches itself before your mind registers that you're falling. There's no gap between the stimulus and the reaction. You're just the spectator, after the fact. The second is conscious. That's where the gap exists. You feel tension in your body, pressure to act, and impulse already knocking, but you haven't clicked yet. And that space, even if it lasts just a second, is the only place where any conscious decision is possible. The higher the stress, the smaller that space gets. And the smaller that space gets, the higher the risk that your next move won't be a decision at all. Now take that to the chart. You're sitting at your monitor, your nervous system is taking in information non-stop. Every price movement, every candle, every shift in volume. For a moment, the position is going your way. You breathe. Next candle, and it's already in the red. The tension comes back. The system processes. And you have your hand on the mouse. Notice how thin that line is between a conscious decision and an automatic reaction that moves faster than any thought you could have. If you recognize that pattern in yourself, the same mistakes repeating, promises broken, now you know what it's called. In science, this is known as amygdala hijack, an automatic reaction to an impulse triggered by an emotion that moves faster than any conscious decision has a chance to form. The framework we covered today isn't theory, it's a map. And every point on that map, stimulus, processing, emotion, impulse, reaction, is a place where you can start looking for your own answer. The most important point on that map is processing, because that's where it all comes together. The associations, the beliefs, the memories your mind has been collecting for years. That's where the emotion is born. And if it's strong enough, the space for a conscious decision can shrink to the point where it's almost impossible to notice it's even there. Honestly, in my opinion, this is one of the most important topics in all of trading psychology. I'd recommend watching this episode twice, not because it's complicated, but because the second time around you notice things you missed the first time. Without understanding this mechanism, and this is just my take, pretty much everything else you'll find about trading psychology makes a lot less sense. I mean that. If this helped you understand something, drop a comment, subscribe, and leave a like. See you in the next one.